Welcome to the Historic Preservation Advisory Committee, August meeting 2009. I want to welcome Lucy Long. She's a member of the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee. She's in the audience with us today. I want to thank Aaron, Robert, and Angie for being here, and all the board members. And first on the agenda is the cabin. Aaron, the update.
Well, we had been in contact with a company that restores log homes, and of course we took an estimate. We got some money this budget year, and I don't know if I want to call it luck or what, but ever since the 1st of July, we haven't been able to get a hold of the company. I don't know if they're out of state doing a job, which they do from time to time. But anyway, so now we're going to have to kind of sit back and punt. I guess we still have the money, but got some names and numbers of some other different contractors, and we're going to go from there. We're going to start making
The
some
logs
phone
we
calls.
sent up to the sawmill, still no answer on them.
No answer. I don't think they're going to cut them. They're afraid of metal in them, to be quite terribly honest.
So we still waiting on the logs. The money we still got the money that me and Robin worked so hard for at budget time. So I don't guess it's going nowhere.
It's not going anywhere, but we're working on a plan, and Aaron really tried to get a hold of the people that had given us the estimate before so that we could present the plan to you guys tonight. But like he said, they must be out on a job or something, because he's been trying for like the past month to get a hold of them.
You'd think with the economy bad and everything's down, you'd think people would be chomping at the bit to do something.
You would think. But he did get a hold of Michael Gavin, who has worked with us in the past on the cabin.
That's up at MTSU.
Right. And we did get the name of a couple of other people that do the same kind of work as the company that gave us the estimate. So we'll probably start looking at some other routes to go with these other resources. And but I'd like to thank Dennis, because he really did, during budget time, go out on a limb getting us some money for the cabin.
Well, I had somebody behind me kind of sticking me with a hot poker, but we worked them over, didn't we?
We did, and
it was tight. The money was tight, and I tell you, I didn't think we was going to get anything.
That's me exactly. That's why
When we went in that budget meeting, I didn't have much hope, and I first wasn't going to say nothing. I waited till the last minute when everybody done snatched and jerked what they could, and I knew they had a little bit of money in reserve, and I said, well, I think we said if we could get 3, we'd be happy. So I tried for 4 and didn't think we'd get that, but we got it, so that was good.
We did. So we want to make sure that we definitely spend it, and then spend it wisely, because really $4,000 will only start to make a dent in what needs to be done to that cabin, but it is a step in the right direction. So, and if we get $4,000 for the next 3 years, then I think we can really get some work done. I think there's some work that we just have to get a contractor to do, but there's some work once they get the basic stuff done, the big stuff. There's some work that we can actually get some volunteer labor to help us with. Is that correct, Aaron?
Yeah.
The experts on the cabin, what did they say the first thing we need to do? Is that replace the logs? Is that the first?
That's actually.
So yeah, a couple of the main structural logs on the bottom that are rotten. Of course, that's the good thing. You know, we prioritized the list of stuff, and I think that is the first thing on the list. The second one, from what I remember, is straightening of the walls. A couple of the walls are leaning in.
But until we get the logs, that's ain't much else we can really do.
Yeah. The company that we were going with, really reputable company, and they were going to use all vintage materials instead of us, going and trying to find a tree or a log. It's really, really difficult to do, I found out. But yeah, all the materials that they were gonna use were vintage. So I'm a little disappointed, but, I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna let the money go that you guys work so hard for.
Yeah, we need to
Definitely.
stay with it. Don't get discouraged at anything. Anybody else have anything to say about the cabin? Tyler?
No?
Or you continue trying to get that company?
We're gonna definitely try to get that company, but I'm also gonna call other people too. You know, if we go through the process, even as much time we have
They're just
invested.
not answering you?
They're just not answering. They're not answering emails. I call the office phone and their voicemail's full. You can't even leave a message. None of the cell phone numbers that I have.
They might be out of business.
I don't know. They might be. Other than driving out to Fairview. Fairview's where they're at. And I haven't had a whole lot of time to dedicate to drive to Fairview. But we're going to keep on going. I'm still going to try to get a hold of them, but we're going to entertain new bids from different contractors as well.
Aaron, what was the name of that business?
Leatherwood
Leatherwood?
Incorporated.
Like leather wood.
Yep.
It's a long shot, but I used to work with a guy that lived out in Fairview. Maybe he could drive by and
It's
email
leatherwood.
me and, kind of
It's leatherwood what now?
Leatherwood Inc.
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 Incorporated. You got an address on them?
I can get it.
Get it in, me and Lucy, we always riding through the country. We might take a stroll out there one day.
It is a pretty drive. I wish I did have time to
It
do it.
is, Aaron and I went out there
2 years
a
ago?
couple years ago and actually talked to them, visited their place, and it was kind of cool to go out there and look at it, and it was in an interesting area.
But they do, I believe they have a website. You might be able to find their website. They do a lot of larger homes as well, not necessarily just log homes. Turn of the century mansions and things like that. And I guess they travel, go out of state. So I don't know.
Good deal. You got anything you want to add to this cabin?
No, I'll look as well and try to see if I
We-
can contact.
We
them or
actually
something.
did a little bit of work to it. Don't know, probably not noticeable, but the old wooden or plywood chimney that was started, we took that down, and some of the daubing that was done with limestone, or not limestone, but Portland cement.
Did y'all find any old newspapers? People used to wad up newspaper and stomp in the holes.
No,
Y'all didn't
actually,
find
no,
no
I don't think they did. A lot of that was done recently, say 5 to 7 years ago. Attempts that people had made to daub it, but we found out that the Portland cement actually deteriorates the logs. It needs to be done with a limestone-based cement. So we actually took some of that out and did a little bit of stuff to it. So.
Well, moving on to the next item, be the Old Timers Day, September the 19th. Are we ready, guys?
Ready or not, here it comes.
Absolutely.
It's right around the corner.
We're gonna have the display exposition that we had last year.
We are. Our plan is to use the same kind of setup that we had last year, and I wanted to get any feedback from you guys if there's anything else you think that we should include, or if everybody thinks that similar setup is a good display
Well, I think what
representing.
really worked out good last year, because we had a good location.
Yeah,
That made a difference.
yeah.
I noticed the traffic was a whole lot upper, than it was the year
Right.
before. It's about 4 weeks away. It'll be here quick.
It will be.
Okay.
And I know that Miss Carrie is out of town that day, but I was gonna ask if anybody else is interested in working and like a couple of hour shift.
Yeah, I can work.
And you'll be in the parade though, and what time did you say the parade was?
10:30.
10:30, so, the 10 to 12 shift, you probably can't work.
When do they have the ceremony that everybody gets on the stage and
1
kicks it
o'clock.
off? Yeah, I can do it from, 11 to 12. I can do it then.
Okay.
That'd probably be good.
Well, I don't know that the parade will be done by then though.
He'll be done.
Will it?
It'll be done by
Yeah.
I can do it from
They're
the end of the
first.
parade to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Unless somebody else can't do it, and I can do it after that if it's,
I'm flexible.
Okay.
What time do we, I think I usually got there pretty early, like 8
Yeah, you have
o'clock
to
or
set
so.
up, last couple of years, I believe.
Do you still need someone there, what, 8 o'clock finish?
That'd be fine if you wanna take the early shift.
I can go after dinner.
from 12 to 2. 12 to 2.
12 to 2, you, okay.
Usually after 2 o'clock, they come pretty well winding down, you know.
Yeah, it officially ends like 4-ish.
4:30.
4:30,
But I
so,
notice the biggest crowd is like from 11 to 2, and, you know, it's still a pretty good bit of people at 3 o'clock.
You want more than one person there at a time?
that's fine if,
That'd be good.
what time or do you think you can be there?
You don't ask four people that. I'll never know what I'm gonna do next week. 11, 12, 1, 2, somewhere around there. I'll try to get in and fill in that somebody that's there, go on or whatever.
What if we put you down for the 10 to 12 and let Dennis come after y'all are on the stage?
Okay.
Can you
So
do
that
that?
knocks you out. I got your spot now.
Well,
So she'll have to come,
y'all are on the stage at 1, so you can just do the shift from after her till the end,
okay. So from what, 1 to 3,
like 1:30.
1:30?
And
And
what
then
time? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then, Miss Murphy can do like 10 to 12-ish. And I will email everybody and remind you, or I'll have Kim or somebody.
Yeah, remind me, because I'm forgetful.
That's too long.
What time does the parade start?
The parade is at 10:30, is that what you
10:30.
said?
Yes.
Yeah,
10:30.
I think the sign, the marquee out front said 10:30. I guess that's when it starts.
And it goes from where to where?
Goes
Same
from
place?
City Hall to the Veterans Memorial Park.
Yeah. So, and if, if something comes up and you need to adjust, just let us know, because we can fill in too if there's any gaps. Because we'll have the senior tent will be right there, and the Parks and Rec booth will be there, so. And, you brought some stuff before to add to it. Are you going to
I
do
brought
that?
some stuff to I brought my little case. I might
Okay.
bring it.
Okay. If anybody's got anything else they would like to add to it, that'd be great. If not, we'll just have a similar setup as we did before. Have the old candy and and some information brochures that we gave out.
Right.
We might do a little push on the cabin since it's hopefully gonna get started soon.
It'd be neat if we could put the cabin on a trailer, put it on Old Timer Day Parade. That'd be neat, wouldn't it?
Well, we've done it before.
What have you?
Well, he went down the road,
Went
but
down
not
the
on
road
parade.
That's right.
Hey Dennis, I still have your recipe. Do you want copies of that?
We might hold off on that family recipe on this one, but it worked good on the, that Celebrate Laverne.
Okay.
Somebody asked me if that was legal. I said, too late.
Well, it states right there on that paper, it's not legal and it's,
Yeah, they asked me that, and I said, well, it's done gone, and
does not, it does not, the recipe hasn't been made since 1927, and it says on the bottom, due to revenuers.
you know, I'm gonna block everything.
Oh, okay.
I said, well, I don't know.
What is this recipe, Adam?
This recipe is, that message, you know what that,
At that historic, I don't think you was at the historic, Celebrate Laverne. I had a piece of paper that had a recipe on it, and it was itemized pretty good. I'll see that you get a copy of it. I got some extra copies of it.
Would there be any interest in looking at putting in a few different pictures, changing out a few of the pictures?
We did change a few
We're gonna try.
out.
We do have some more pictures, so yeah, we'll work on.
Just keep interest up.
Yeah, because if the same people are gonna come back and visit, that might be a good idea.
Right.
I've got that one over there.
Yep, that sounds good.
So everybody's up to speed on Old Timers Day. Everybody knows where they're supposed to be. We're all set.
Do we know where our location will be yet?
We're not for sure. We're still looking at the layout, but probably similar to where we've been, somewhere in the grass area. It depends on how the tents are set up. The last 2 years, they've been kind of angled a little bit different. So we usually just wait till the tents are set up and then kind of go from there. But it'll be somewhere centrally located around, hopefully right next to the senior center, but somewhere that'll get a lot of traffic. Is that fair enough, Angie?
I suppose.
Anything else you would like to share or report about Old Timers Day?
No.
Since you're here? No?
No.
Everything rolling right along?
Everything's all around. T-shirts are for sale.
Okay.
They're ready.
And if they want a T-shirt, if somebody wants to purchase a T-shirt, where do they go?
City tent.
Say,
City tent?
City tent. That's
The
Old
day
Timers
of,
Day.
yeah.
But if they want one before Old Timers Day,
They
it's
go to
in
Parks and Rec.
Park and Recs. And the
They're
number,
7, 8, and 9.
and the number, if they want to call Parks and Rec, what's the number at Park and Rec?
793-3224.
Okay. And y'all have them at Park and Rec building?
Yes,
Well,
we
that's
do.
good deal.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's kind of off from historic preservation and more towards the Old Timers Day. I know that Aaron and I had spoken about community gardens in Laverne. And I know that for Old Timers Day, you have a lot of farm equipment and back to that old way of life of creating your own food and farming. And I was wondering if there's some way that we can incorporate that into the Old Timers Day. Maybe, I know someone in Nashville who has a park, and they do talks and things with the community on ecological landscaping, edible landscaping, permaculture, and community gardening. I thought that maybe that this would be a good venue to kind of get the community involved in thinking about those things for next year, preparing the grounds and that type of thing at the Old Timers Day.
That's not a bad idea, because we have talked about looking at trying to start something with a community garden. It would really take a community group to get it started. I mean, we could support it, but we can't just take it and run with it because we've got so many other things going on. But that might be the perfect opportunity to kind of get information out and find out, kind of put together a list of who in the community is interested in being involved in it. That may be a really good place to start. I wrote it down on my list, and we'll see what we can come up with. Maybe put information at the city booth or the Parks and Rec booth, along with the historical preservation booth, and just kind of see what kind of interest we can drum up and start a list.
Okay. That sounds
Very
like
good
a
idea.
start.
Very good idea. Do you think the person you know that does it in Nashville could come out and
Yes.
help us?
And actually, a couple of weeks after that, they're having a lady, she has a TV show. She's called The Garden Girl. And she's going to be coming and transforming a portion of their garden. He's going to do some solar things as well as some garden things. And she's going to be coming to Nashville at the end of September. And he does a lot of talks, and I can ask him if he can come and say something. And that's what he does. I've been working with him. His nonprofit organization is called Earth Matters Tennessee, and it is all about urban farming and composting and permaculture.
And that, you know, that's kind of something that's becoming more and more popular. There's nonprofits popping up and more, even more Tennessee dollars going towards that trend. So that may be something for us to get involved in. The sooner the better.
Yeah, because greening Tennessee is where we're heading.
Mm-hmm.
So to already be ahead of the curve and already start educating people on things that can be done to make Laverne greener
Right.
would be a step in the right direction.
That's a good idea.
All right. Anybody has anything else to say about the Old Timers Day historic display? Guess we'll move on to open discussion and comments.
I received a letter a week ago from a man in France whose family's last name was Laverne. And I have in turn sent him a copy of Green Trees and a letter back so he can know all about where the history of the city came from, because he thinks that his family is related to the Lavernes that lived here.
Cool. That may be a good correspondence to try to keep.
Yeah. I guess the next meeting will be October the 19th. That's the month after Old Timers Day. You got any Lake Forest Park? We'll be moving it.
Did you hadn't talked to Jerry Gann yet? The vice mayor is doing the Parks and Rec and Greenways meeting out there in October, and he was going to invite us. I was hoping he would have called you already. He was going to invite us to do a combined meeting with them, and because he's wanting to get on some film, some stuff out at Lake Forest Park and with the cemetery out there that we've done some work on. He wanted to extend an invitation and invite the Historical Preservation Committee to do a joint meeting with the Parks and Rec and the Greenway Advisory Committee meetings that month, if that's
Sounds good.
If that's okay with
Sounds
the
good.
chairman, okay. So, and it'll be, the cameras are gonna come out and join us, and we're gonna kind of do a filming outside. Hopefully it'll be good weather. Been a little hot to do it, like this month he talked
Well,
about it.
October, it should be cooled down by then.
October, it should be
Hopefully it ain't
perfect
too cold.
weather.
That'll actually be good, because if we did do a community garden,
That might be one of the
There's-
locations.
pretty good possibility that would be the location for it. And,
I think that's a good area.
you know, that way we'll get a little bit more involvement too. We'll get Parks and Rec Advisory Board and,
That'd be good too. We've got that Mason Cemetery out there, and that's y'all really, the Park and Rec has really done a fantastic job. I was out there when they opened station, that satellite station, police station out there, and I mean, they've really done a lot of work out there.
Yep.
Cecil, he was really running hard that day.
He
He
was.
Cecil does a great job.
Cecil does run hard.
He does.
Where'd y'all find him at?
I don't know, but we're keeping him.
He's been here quite a while.
He
Yeah.
sure has. And that Lake Forest Park has actually turned out really nice. It took us a while to get it cleaned up and get it in good shape. And it's still got another phase to go as well. You know, we've got a couple of pavilions out there and some picnic tables, but we still eventually are going to add a walking trail and a playground. We don't really have the funding to do it probably won't happen this year, but hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll get that phased in.
We're having, a lot of people ask about Lake Forest, and, one of the concerns is quote-unquote gang situation.
Well,
And
that's,
they
that's
need
one
more-
reason, that's one reason they put that substation.
Yeah, they need more people that are visible.
Well,
They
that's
just don't have
true.
the personnel to cover it.
That's
They're having
true.
a hard time with what they have.
I get a lot of calls on Lake Forest, and basically what I tell them, I said, Lake Forest, anytime you get that number of houses in that area, I kind of compare Lake Forest with down there at Edge of Lake, Priest Lake, and down that area, it's about the same size. But it's down there, it's three subdivisions together up here at Lake Forest. It's been in a bunch of phases, but each section is named the same. Priest Lake and Edge of Lake around the Anderson Road, Smith Springs Recreation, it's just about the same size as Lake Forest, but each phase was called a different subdivision, and I'm sure they have the same problem down there. Anytime you get a group of people, you're gonna have different problems.
Well, you have your Section 8 houses, what, that area has, and, that creates problems.
Well,
It has,
I dropped my feet. But, I know I've talked to people in Murfreesboro, and they got the same problem, Section 8. Section 8, is, people moving in, but, that's not just isolated in Laverne, that's Nashville,
I
same way.
realize that. I mean, what I'm saying is that we have this park area wanting to make larger and all, but then you have this other element that is, you have to take into consideration. At one time, right down here in the park, we had, trees and stuff planted. They were gonna have someone pass away, they wanted a dedicated tree. In fact, they bought one from Laverne, France and all. But they were destroyed. And some of them, they needed them. We had a fountain there, and it was, they put dirt in it and stopped it up. And so like I said, that it's good to have these, but you have to have someone that's there visible to make sure it stays. So.
And I think that's what you need to focus on, Park and Rec. Y'all do a fantastic job. All the people that visit the park, give the kids something to do other than linger on the streets. That's the key. You'd be surprised, the park, the baseball, the soccer, the in-hand hockey, the boxing that they're gonna, what that does to kids. The kids get activity. And that's, be surprised what that does to kids. And
That's
well,
that's our goal.
if the kids ain't got nothing to do, they gonna find something to do. And y'all do a great job at park. Y'all always got something going on. Great, that's great.
And Lake Forest doesn't have anything walkable.
Yeah.
There's no park that you can walk to do anything right now.
Right.
So even though we have the elements that you're afraid of or concerned with, I'm not really sure if your concerns is as far as a garden being put out there and people vandalizing the garden or the playground.
Probably both. I mean,
Because we can have a fence around the garden.
yeah, but kids are not going to be interested in a garden to go and view it, let's put it that way. The adults will. I mean, they think that's marvelous. But if you get, if you don't have, if you have a garden out there, like I said, this that we had over here, you just got, I mean, they just put stuff, because it was not, it couldn't be taken care of, it was destroyed. And, so you have to put that in consideration in the area you're in.
You're right.
You have to get the community involved.
Yeah, that helps.
Because once they take ownership, and then things can be better
That
taken
would
care
work.
of.
Like I said, it's working, some of it's working now. The people are saying, okay, now it's enough's enough. I want to be able to walk out here at night, without having to worry about something happening to me, And I'm just throwing it in as something, to think about.
I think it's all great ideas. Only thing I have, anybody got any comments or final words or anything that,
Final words.
well, you know, well,
Okay.
Wrap up.
Sorry, but that was funny.
closing comments, let's
Yeah,
put it that
closing
way.
comment, there you go. I'm getting carried.
You know, I miss Miss Carey. I'm hoping she just got distracted. I hope she's in good, because she very seldom misses one.
Oh, she's getting pretty frail. We discussed
She,
that.
you know.
We're all getting frail.
What about anything else? Only thing I want to remind everybody, Old Timers Day, it's about 4 weeks away. It's September the 19th. The parade starts at 10:30 at City Hall. And don't forget about the Rescue Squad Country Ham Breakfast that morning. It's from 6 to 10. That's where it starts, and then it moves over to the parade at 10:30. Then everything ends up at the park. And hope we have good weather, and it gets bigger and better every year. And that's all I've got. Nobody else got anything? We'll call it adjourned.